I was 29 when I found out I had Parkinson's disease. I soon learned that each patient has their own version of Parkinson's, their own story to tell.
I was diagnosed in 2006. It was 2 weeks after my 39th birthday. That just came across me like, where did this come from? Why me?
I had noticed a few years prior that I wasn't smelling things as clearly, and I started off just kind of noticing a kind of a kink in my arm before I could just stop it. But then it came to a point where the thing that stops it, it wasn't there anymore.
I was writing thank you notes to people for my 50th birthday party, and I would start the note, the letters would get smaller and smaller, and sooner or later the hand wouldn't move. So I said, there's definitely something going on here.
About 2 years ago, December, I just had problems running. Like, my right leg just didn't keep up with the left leg. And I sort of blew it off, and then my husband saw me running, and he said, "What's wrong with you?" And it's like I had a stroke.
It was like you had a stroke, or you did have a stroke?
No, I didn't. We were on vacation, so when we got back, I finally went to the doctor.
I had a really strong hand tremor, and I went to Portland. I kind of hid it for a while, and finally I was diagnosed. And I remember when you came out and told the world that you had Parkinson's. I just thought it was just a disease that made you shake. That's the only thing I knew about it.
So what was the reaction of your family?
Well, I prepared my wife first and wanted her to become comfortable with it. So I kept it to myself in my first year, and I dropped hints, and I brought up alerts, and I didn't directly tell her what the story was.
In our family, we always swept things under the rug. After you would come out with an article about going public with it, my sister started asking me questions. This was the first out of 8 siblings that had really asked me about it. And because I was the swimmer of the family, I went to college on a scholarship, and I just felt with my family that I was the loser with the disease.
The number one thing that the doctors tell you is don't stress out. How can you tell me not to stress out? You know what I'm saying? It's impossible. I mean, you don't get to decide at the moment you have Parkinson's whether you're going through family issues. I had depression, and then I had the ending of a marriage, and then I had the Parkinson's all at once. It all hit at once, bam.
The big things, I mean, I'm up for the challenge that it takes to accomplish some things. It's the little things like putting a cup on a saucer.
Yeah.
They just drive me absolutely insane.
Yeah, it just doesn't stop, except when you're sleeping. I wish we could somehow sleepwalk.
And you dream when you're awake.
Yeah.
So much of what you do is precise and about balance and about a certain order in a way. And then to have Parkinson's, it seems like it kind of throws all that out the window.
It gets rough. Like the drawing is particular because there's certain details you want to draw, and now it's rather hard to keep that flowing, and it's kind of discouraging.
I can see that frustration, not being able to do what you've done to that point. How did that manifest itself in your relationships and in your other life?
Well, I think what happened is I felt like I had to do everything now, and so, I sort of went on the extreme of exercising, just because I wanted to get it all in. Training's not going well. Like, I developed a tendonitis because my gait's so odd. I have this galloping gait. I've fallen a couple times. So this will be my last marathon.
When you're playing and you have injuries you know that you can recover from, you'll be all right, you'll be back on the court. If there's something that you can't fix, in your mind, you tend to think that you're weak. And I had to lose that because I really missed out on being able to spend some good time with these guys over the past few years because I was too nervous to go into the locker room because I didn't want the young guys seeing my hand shake.
Once you get past the idea that you did something to deserve this, or that if you're symptomatic, it's reflective of some kind of flaw, it's not. It's just a pure scientific thing. You're in the pharmaceutical business, right?
Yes, and I always thought through hard work and and perseverance that we would get the answers, and the answers are elusive.
Acceptance doesn't mean resignation. You can accept it and then endeavor to change it.
Yeah, there's no escaping it. You have to accept it.
For me, it hasn't just all at once come and say, okay, I accept it. I don't know if this happened with you, but sometimes I think I don't have it. You know, sometimes I convince myself that, man, this, you know, even though it's tremoring, well, maybe it's something else. You know, my mind plays tricks on me sometimes, and then I had to look at myself and be, you got it, you know.
I guess it took me a few years to say, okay, I was given this and I was given it for a reason. And I can either sit and sulk and be a victim or take this and run with it.
I finally let the NBA go. I don't need to be in the NBA. I don't need to be that player. I'm Brian Grant. I'm not Brian Grant the player, you know. I'm Brian Grant the dad, the friend.
You know, what you're doing is just like it's so heroic, it's so amazing, you know, to be able to get people the tools and the financing to use their minds to zero in on the problem.
I mean, I really knew nothing about your foundation until I got diagnosed, and then, you know, I was reading about it, and you know, I just really like the work you're doing with the research and working with the collaboration. I mean, it's really very exciting.
If there's a possible cure, I will do whatever I can for it.
And that's what I've learned to do, is to let people come in and help, whereas before I was all about me, and I can fix it, I can do this on my own, and now I know that I can't. I know that I do have to let these people come in and help.
Right.
I truly think I do have a mission, and I'm glad it's on your path.
There are over 1 million people living with Parkinson's in the United States. The cure may seem elusive, but we're not giving up. We face Parkinson's head-on. With purpose re-examined and new dreams to pursue, we've resolved to fight this disease. And with perseverance, we will keep pushing ahead. We may each have our own individual Parkinson's, but we all share one thing in common.